time of the week. So these are very, very quickly outgrowing this tank, so I have to start doing something, but for now I'm just doing two a week, just giving them a good clear out, changing the filter, clearing the filters, changing the sponges. Everybody's happy, but they all seem happy in there, so fingers crossed they'll be alright. Gross! That's that job done. Excuse air bubbles. Yeah. All happy. Matsuba. And disappointing thing, right? So inside here, you've got the replaced, rather than brushes, you've got these little plastic balls. So what you'll notice is the filter's back together and running. And there's 15 of these. And I can confirm that right now there's only 14 inside that damn epoxy filter. God damn it. Look at this, Sunday, 6:45. Just waiting to watch football. But look, hey Clyde. I just had a delivery on a Sunday at 7:15. Crazy. So what I'm hoping this is, or the only thing it can be, is my new pond net for the fry. Ted's a big boy, but look at the size of this whopper. Whopper. It says 4 foot. 4 foot, 2 foot. Ev, you in your pants?
Ready?
Come here. Doesn't matter. Everybody's used to you in your pants. So stand next to the net. Not a net. Look at the size of it. Bonjour everybody. So, haven't done my hair. Literally dragged myself out of bed, done the school run. Feel like crap. But I've got a day off work, which is quite nice. So, it means we can get some itsy bitsy little jobs done. One of which we need to sort the fry out. So the larger fry that are in the pond, they're in a 2x2x2 net, as I said before. This one came in the post, bought it off eBay. Just a Cockney koi, it's a 4x2x2, so it gives them a bit more room. Only thing with the Cockney koi ones, this one comes slightly damaged actually, which I've had to, can't really see, I've had to sew sort of a 4 or 5 inch section in the corner. But they don't come with weighted corners, these ones, so our friend Cable Tie and Pebble are going to come in handy, and then what I can do then is dump this in the pond. Yeah, just gives them a bit more room to settle, because at the moment they are growing, and then we'll be moving on to the indoor fry. But yeah, let me get this done, I'll show you. Alright, so hopefully you can see that. It's all I've done. Found you don't actually have corners on these Cockney koi nets. They're sewn out of 3 pieces of material. So all I've done is found roughly where the corner is, stone, pebble, cable tie, cut it nice and short, and then what I'll do is run some sandpaper over there to finish it off, make sure we've got no jagged edges. And all that will do is obviously make sure that once it's in the water, I'll show you when I put it in the water, it will definitely sink. But what I will do is, speaking to a friend, and then I have had an experience in the past, so obviously adding the stones, and without adding the stones indeed, this tends to pull down in the water slightly, so you end up with quite a high water line. Which means you get lots of escapees, which we have had on the ones in there. So what I'm going to do is either run a secondary piece of pipe, I've got some in the garage, or I'll actually put some pipe insulation on here, and it will just keep it out of the water. Back in a minuit. Found a bit of pipe insulation in the old garage. Every little helps, doesn't it, hey? Like stickers on cars. Adds 10 degrees, that does. Right, that's Peter well and truly robbed. Paul is very satisfied with his pay. These are on, and we're ready for its maiden voyage. Fucking girt net. But yeah, we'll chuck that in. Might have to play around with it a little bit. It hasn't been glued. I didn't glue the last one and it was absolutely fine, so fingers crossed. I'll give that a bit of twisted in a minute. Right, so maiden voyage. She be floating. Yeah. Right, so now I can get this one unattached, detached, whatever it be. And this one on, and then that's just going to sit over the back again. I'll be careful because my inlets are here, so too close to that. And obviously the net pushes out. Whereas at the moment that's sitting, it's a good size net, isn't it? Good size net. get sort of a better look of them. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, there's about 15 in there, and then there's probably 4 or 5 escapees in the actual pond. Look at them all down the bottom. Hey, it's all so cold. They've all had enough. You can see just down there the stone that's in there to hold it down. Yeah, these are thinking, what the bloody hell's going on? They'll be a little bit careful. Obviously, immune systems are down. The cold, so I just want to be very gentle. Look at him. Hello. And then the new one will just sit back over there. But I've got to keep it. I've said before, I've got to keep it away from the edge because of the sturgeon. He gets all tied up in it otherwise. Bless him. Excuse bits of timber. But I wanted to fix it away from that edge. So now it means Steve's got a clear path through there. He ain't gonna get caught on. Excuse dust. Messy worker. So yeah, you can see down there. So now if Steve comes round the edges, which he does, he frequently passes. But the good thing is this isn't. It's not going nowhere. It's not going nowhere. It moves a little bit, but it's not going to blow with the wind or. Actually, looking at that one needs tightening a bit. I'll do that in a minute. So all I've done is just fix it for the back for now. This will obviously come off come spring next year, and then it usually just bobs around in that corner. But I'm a bit OCD with tidiness, so I wanted it in its position. Right, let's get them in. Just before I pop them in, I just wanted to show you these are sargies. Hoping you can see them. Look! They are beautiful. Let me try and grab one. So I don't want to hand them too much. But look! They are going to be awesome. So I'm just popping them into their new home. But this one I'm excited for. Look! He's so pretty. Right, just while I'm indoors trying to get the feeling back in my hands and having a cup of tea, I always joke this time of year about how cold it is outside. So, like I say, -3 when I went out there this morning to do the Nexus clean. You drum owners, you don't have to go through this. I know obviously there's still maintenance and that involved, but for the biggest part, you ain't out there. Oh yeah, let's be honest, you're not out there. You're very, very lucky. So just out of interest, I asked, this time of year, I asked a few friends that have got Nexuses to send me pictures of their hands. And then I also asked several drum owners to send me what their hands look like when they're doing their filter cleans. So I'll just put them up on the screen now. So first of all, it'll be the Nexus, and then it'll be the drum. It's not good. So, while I'm having my cup of tea, I've got the net on there. It's quite easy really, because it's so slow this time of year. So even the tiddlers, it's quite easy to catch. Just got everything off at the moment, just so the water was clear. But so what I've got in here is what I've called the medium fry. So these are 3-inch, around 3-inch to 4-inch tops. Got one big in there, actually he needs to come out. I shouldn't have put him in there really. I wasn't paying attention. Although they seem pretty happy. I'll see how they go. But this will be their home for the winter. They're in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So there's about 25 in there. There's probably around 8 in the pond still, I think I counted. And then there's another, annoyingly, I've just seen another one in the corner that I've missed, so I have to get that. And then there's another 25-ish indoors of the small, which in a minute we'll pan over. So that's these sorted in the pond. I now need to go indoors and start sorting them out. I'm going to go and pick up a new tank tonight and get that set up so they're happy for the winter indoors. Catch you in a bit. Alright, just while we're waiting for that to boil over. So those of you that watch the channel will know we've got, I don't know where they are at the moment, but we've got 2 sturgeon in here, and now we're knocking on the door of sort of 4.5, 5 degrees. It's important to keep the koi away from the sturgeon food because they do like to nibble it. I'm sitting down in this corner at the moment. They do like to nibble it. So I can sort of scatter bomb the pond, but that means you've got to overfeed with the sturgeon food. You're using loads of sturgeon food. Money's tight enough as it is running a pond. But it's not just that. Most of it ends up in the bottom drain, ends up in the Nexus, dyes the water. You'll always notice I've got quite a yellowy tinge or browny tinge to my water. There's not a lot I can do about it because it is a high protein food for a sturgeon. Where it does, it gets into the bottom drain, sits in the nexus. That basically acts as a, well, it dilutes the food, and you end up with the colour back in the pond. So what I tend to do in the winter, so I can reduce the amount that I'm feeding and keep the koi away from it. So this is just a bit of 30mm waste pipe. Excuse motorbike. It's just got a 45 on the end. And what I do in the winter is, I say what I do in the winter, I'm saying it like I've done this all the time, but I only started doing it last year. What I'll do is that will sit in the corner, and then what we do, as the food is sinking food, it just gets popped in the end. And what's quite nice is the sturgeon, each year they do get used to this corner. They know that this is the feeding corner, if you like. So yeah, so that's how I do it. So in the water, it doesn't matter about airlocks or anything like that, because it is sinking food, so you want the pipe to fill up with water, and then it just comes out the bottom. Remember that old game, stab a rat at the face? That's what it reminds me of. But yeah, that's it. I'm not sure if this is going to come across or not. Oh look, Steve there at the bottom of the pipe already waiting. So if I pop some down in there, I don't know if you'll see them come out at the bottom. Look, so he'll be waiting now for the food at the bottom. Mr. Amazon's been. So obviously that's going. Well, it's not going, we're going to keep that and the filter that goes with it. So I bought a new filter. Never actually used all pond solutions before. But as you can see by the green in the water, one thing we're missing is a UV. Get quite a lot of light coming in this room, plus the LEDs being on all the time. So this is their 1400 external canister filter model. And at the moment it's in the sale. It was only actually 80 quid, which you compare that to the Fluval ones, it's quite a significant saving. So be interested to see if the quality's any good, the filter's any good. But yeah, snap back in a minute and we'll have a look inside. So what I'm going to do, rather than have the tank outside, because of the cost of running and that with the electric, etc. So we're actually going to have a tank indoors that's slightly larger. So all I've done with this, given it a good clean, bought it second hand, bish bosh bash. And then what we're going to be using in terms of filtration is the 1400 EF, which I showed you arriving. So I've got that on the back, that's just drying off. So what I need to do now, so what my plan is brilliant. So this keeps going murky because there's no UV. Look at them all. So I'm going to take the water from here. Obviously want to use, although the water is murky, I want to transfer as much water as I can to the bowl. The fish can then go in there. And I can leave the filter running. But I'm hoping that some of the media in the old filter, which is there, I can actually transfer across. Otherwise we're going to have a bit of a bio crash. So yeah, that'll be my next step. Air pump, etc. will all stay for obvious reasons. And then these can grow on a little bit more through Christmas period. And then obviously they'll be able to go in the tank after. But yes, this one is 200 and something litres, I believe. It's a better size. I'm just hoping that it fits. I have measured, but we all know what males are like for measuring things. Don't we, Ted? Ted! Yeah. So, yeah. I'm going to start emptying this water, and then we'll have a Lukin bucket. Right, so we got Evan. Oh, look, if I do this, it looks like you've got a halo. Ev, look up. Oh. Right, Ev's is just catching some of the fish. We're going to pop them across. Don't realise how manky the water is. I've had to prop this up, stop the pipe keep coming out, but Evan's, don't fall over, boy. I'm just going to transfer the cross. What I'll do, Ev, is I'll get you a little pot, and we can put them in the pot and transfer them across together, otherwise you're going to be jumping across every 2 minutes. Yeah. Won't be long to be in a little home. Look at the old black eye. And the old R, a bit shell-shocked. So we got the 4 goldfishy things. And then just having a look at some of, it's got these saggies in there. Krashigoi, Chagoi, Jin Matsubas, Kahakus, the showers, the Jin Matsuba, Akamatsuba. Yeah, same as every other time I film them, really.
It's sort of bigger.
Just bigger, yeah. Yeah, some of them are getting a fair size in this one now. So they'll weather well. Bit of intact. So now we can empty the tank completely and we can start moving this one. Actually, I've got to do some modifications. So I've got 0.5 mm clearance. So I'm just hoping it's okay. But the depth of this tank is about 40 mil more than the cabinet. So what I need to do is just put a trim piece of oak out the garage, trim that down and get it in there. That'd be okay. So yeah, get the last of the water across and get this tank out there. Get it out of there! Right, onwards and upwards. Ed, we're shifting. You like this bit, don't you? We do like the fry. Do you want to get them in the big bowl? Don't spill.
Try not to.
Pick it up by the handle, it's alright. Nice and gentle. There we go. Can you get round alright? Sure? Oh my god. This can all go wrong. Put them as close as you can. That's it, all the water can go in there. Oh, very gentle, Evan. Because the water level's quite high, we'll have to be a bit careful. We don't want any jumping out, do we, Ev? But Mrs. Johns and Ms. Johns, they've gone horse riding, so we got a chance to make some mess and not get told off for it. I'll snap back in a beauty, but we're out with the old. That's over there for a minute. As I say, what I need to do, what I've discovered is actually water has been getting under the tanklet. So whether that's through condensation, I don't know. But what I'm going to have to do is I'm actually going to have to get the chisel and actually take that burr off so the water's got down there. I think it used to come down the front when I was cleaning it. It's obviously been working its way back and then sitting. I mean, it's not rotten or anything, but it's just swollen. Swollen. So I'm just going to get a chisel on that. And what I might do actually on this one, I've only got 0.5 mil gap, so I'm tempted to take sort of 20 mil off of the legs. It'll help distribute the weight over a larger area as well. I did take them down once before. And then what I can actually do is put a base of ply on here, just to, again, spread the load. Spread the love. As with anything, not quite as straightforward. So I wanted to take the legs down a bit. And what I was left with is there a decorative piece in the middle to save using full timber, which makes that, it's not very strong. So what I'm actually doing is just with a bit of oak on the front for looks, and I'll sand it down in a minute, and then sapele mahogany around the edge, and then I'm just going to put an extra piece. I'll just cut that on the bandsaw. It's just a piece underneath, just to take anything in the centre, just to be sure. I mean, it's double the weight, this new one, so it's better be, I've got it upside down, I've got it out, so I may as well just crack on with it and put the time in, because once it's on there I can't do nothing. So yes, so I've put the new legs on. What I've also done is put a bit of marine ply, birch ply on top, just to help again protect the top, give it a bit of strength. And then what I'll do is I'll put an oak trim on the top. What I'll do, I can overlap it onto the actual tank slightly, so rather than seeing the black bit at the bottom, it'll be oak right the way up. Right, I'm going to get this indoors now, and hopefully it'll be solid as a rock. We've gone with the all pond solutions, so I've only seen them for koi stuff really, but when I did a Google, this came up. So let's have a look what we got in the box, shall we, and what it's like in comparison. So excuse fingers, I'm going to do this live, if you like. So as I said, it's the 1400, but the difference with this one, so it's up to 600 litres. It says filter meters included. Well, I'd be a bit pissed off if it wasn't. And easy priming. So that's one of the things you do need to bear in mind with the canister filters, although most of them have got a handle to prime them, so it's to suck all the air out, or blow all the air out. It's quiet operation, easy to maintain. But I'll be the judge of that, thank you. But the main difference with this one, the EF Plus, is the 9 watt, I think it's 9 watt UV. Yeah, let's have a look inside. First impressions are bubble wrap. We like bubble wrap, don't we, Ev? We like bubble wrap. I tell you what, Evski, look, go and take it out of the box. Okay? It's always me wattling on. Oh look, just on the side there. So that's pretty much the same as any canister filter really. Return pipe work. And they just literally hook over, so I'm expecting to do some cutting of the lid. Come on, He-Man! Right, do you want to come and stand it next to the old one? So straight away you can see the difference. And you've got a box of tricks, that'd be all the pipe work, so Have a look in there actually. Turn it around where it should be. Ev, do you want to open it in a really like celebrity way? Oh, celebrity way, I don't know. Sort of like you won't remember it, the Wheel of Fortune.
Is it when the light comes on?
No, not when the light comes on. You won't understand, Jenny pal. So there's all our pipe work. This stuff, right, if you're ever working with this plastic piping, chuck it in a bucket of hot water first, because trying to deal with it cold is an absolute ball ache. So yeah, stick it on top of the radiator, obviously not too hot, or in a bucket of hot water. Otherwise you're wasting your time. So that's the top. Let's stick that on in a minute. These, what do we do with these, Ev? Instructions. Read them. Read them.
Throw them in the bin.
Thank you. Goodbye. And then we've got all the bits and pieces. So, that's a bit annoying actually. So that's the return. God, it's tiny little bits of. Oh, that's funny. So that's the pipe work on this in comparison to the old one. Thickness-wise, is completely different. It's actually very thin on this, so that'll be interesting. So, just opening it up, the first thing I'm going to say in terms of how it compares, actually it's not the first thing, I'm not going to open this because it's full of water. This is very cheaply made in comparison to this, which was, I can't remember the brand now. If you remember what the brand of this one was? Better. It's a better filter. See? There you go, it's a better filter than that one. It's better than that one. But this is actually really made really well. Whereas this is probably as I expected from All Pond Solutions. Really, it's very very. Yeah. So pretty much standard with any canister filter. See, funny enough, that is identical to the tray that's in the other one. So pump is in here. Pump wise, funny enough, it doesn't look a lot bigger either than this one. Obviously we've got our 9-watt UV there. And then inside, so ceramic media. Oh no! The dreaded plastic balls. These balls, heaven, these nuts. And then in the bottom, actually it's slightly different. So then we've got your, the coarse sponges and the filter wall in that one. Actually, so there's a bit of room for me to chuck in quite a bit of my old media, which is quite handy. But that's what I'm going to get on and do now. So yeah, that's basically how they work. So it comes in via the UV through the hole. So the UV will sit down between all of the holes. And then it drops down and comes back up the middle. Normally they have a nice little demonstration on the box, but in this case they haven't. So that box, fucking use it. Excuse my French. Right, should we get on? What are you playing with those balls, Ev? Right, let's get it together. Thanks all. So what we're doing here, so it comes with a 2-bag of ceramic and it comes with the balls, but I'm actually exchanging all the old media, biomedia and mechanical, over to the new filter. There's room for it, so we're pimping it up a bit anyway. But obviously it's just going to help establish. So we're using the water, so 50% of the water in the new pond. Yeah, don't drink out that glass, I've been using it for pond water. 50% of the media in the filter will be from the old pond as well. So 50% water, 50% media, and hopefully we shouldn't have too much of a crash. So just doing the pipe work. So with the kit you get this contraption, which is absolutely spot on if you've got a square tank, or square edge tank, if you see what I'm saying. Anything other than that, yeah, fucking bin it. So the pipe work also that you get, so this is the pipe work you get, which is fantastic. I don't want to be cutting this top apart, but again, on the inside, you've not got a choice of how, obviously this goes on the back part, you've got no choice about how much depth you have going in the top. Whereas my old one, so this is off of the more expensive unit, and this is where you get what you pay for. I actually cut the pipe and I have it going into the pond as deep, into the tank as deep as I like. Deep. But yeah, no, so the stuff that comes with it, again, I could probably modify it to use on the smaller tank at some point, but in terms of use for this project. No, certainly not. Cheap crap. Right, again, similarly. So that's my old pipe work in there off of the Better filter, as we've now established. This is what you get. Hey, Ted's in this one. So, oops, it's very thin in comparison. It's very cheap in comparison, and I say the mounting top, because it's rounded, you're restricted. So I'm actually binning that off. Again, probably going to be absolutely fine on that tank, because this one, you don't have all the big plastic gubbins around it. So we'll chuck that back in the box, just like that. Ted's, leave it. Don't chew it up. I will need it. So now all it's a case of doing is I need to work out what cuts I need to make to allow the plastic to sit flush. So that's what I'm going to do now. So they're all cut out now. They're all cut out. Not the greatest of cuts, but it does. It will stop condensation and too much vapour coming out. This one, if I can get that. This was my first attempt. Obviously not fantastic, that one, but the other one's spot on. So we're ready now, I think, just to get some pipe work on it, snip it up and fit it up. So this is what I was talking about earlier. This was obviously a real pain in the arse, solid bit of pipe, but once soaking in hot water like any plastic or rubber, it starts to become a bit more malleable. I'm going to get this on now. Just make sure you empty the water before you take it off. See, another big difference of using the old pipe work from the old filter. So this is, where's it gone? I can't find it. Anyway, so with the new stuff, literally pipe pushes over the flanged end and then you tighten it with one of these, which is very cheap and nasty. Whereas with these, they've got a nice screw down feature. So you push it over the flanged bit and then screw it down tight and it stops it from popping off. It's very clever. So everything's back, cabinet's pushed back, so all we're doing now is just drilling our holes. Excuse that one, it's slightly higher, apologies. Not a good look. So I brought the electrics through. They're obviously looped on the back in case there's any leaks. 2 holes, plug socket that goes right through to the other side. Slight miscalculation. But yeah, I'm going to get this pipe work in, pull it through the holes, and then what I've done is I've just marked my filter, so where it sits. So I measured the height, so I knew where the pipe work was coming, measured that, so I always know once I've cleaned it, it needs to go back in that position to be perfect. Ask me what I'm doing then.
What are you doing, Dave?
Always make sure the hose is in the tank before switching the tap on. Otherwise you will have a mess. Fill it up! Whoops, my bad. So we got rocks and some plants in. Nothing too much, obviously. Last little bit, and then the remaining water will come from there. But I do believe we had a right nightmare. So one of the old connectors had a slight little crack. So as it was sucking back to the pump, it was drawing in air, which was an absolute nightmare. But yeah, I think we're there now. I think it's done. So we'll switch off for 2 ticks and then we'll put the fish in. Finally, so great. Started at midday, honestly. Anything that could have gone wrong went wrong, but it's in, the dog beds are back in their nice place. And look, so there we go. Everything's on. They're a bit skittish, but they now have, look, lots of room. Lots of room. So filtration wise, that's all in here. Let me just pull it up. That's so nice and tidy, the UV's going. So just the air pump, the filter and water pump in there, and then obviously the electrics. But yeah. Happy, happy, happy. And I've got to go and tidy that up. But on the plus side, we've now got an extra tank for fry. Catch you on the next one.